is a place for public, nonprofit charter schools, but private charter schools and voucher programs, not a single dime in my administration will go to them.
End federal funding completely for for-profit charter schools. Moratorium on all new charter schools.
Get away from charter schools. No federal funding for charter schools.
All right, so those are some of the candidates who have campaigned against federal funding for charter schools. But one charter school here in New York could be proof that it is working in some places. At Success Academy Bronx 2, despite being in the nation's poorest district, all 53 eighth graders aced the statewide math exam. Aced it. The news they found out about at graduation. Watch this. Every single one of them earned the highest score on the Algebra Regents exam, thanks in no small part to this woman, their math teacher at Success Academy, Karina Mateo. Karina, I saw this story a couple weeks ago in the New York Post, and I just thought the pictures were so beautiful. And we have some of those pictures, I think, of you celebrating with all of your students there. You're right in the middle of that group. How did you get all these kids to do so well on this test? And has this ever happened before at your charter school?
So to answer your first question, it's really just believing in them and letting them know that the bar is high because they can do it. And I mean, that's really how we did it. And as in terms of we've ever done it before, last year was the first year that we did Algebra 1 in the 8th grade because it's a 9th grade test. Okay. Last year we had 100% pass and about 85% get A's, but this is the first year that we have 100% of them pass and 100% of them get an A.
You know, I mean, it really is a great feat. And when you look at the numbers in District 9 in the Bronx, only 2% scored an 85 or higher. So what is your trick? And what do you say to those who say, well, you know, you've got the cream of the crop?
So I wouldn't say that it's a trick. It's more so these scholars have been in an amazing educational program since kindergarten. They've been prepped with progressive teaching since again, kindergarten. So by the time they got to me, there were no gaps that I had to close as much. I mean, there are always some, but they weren't drastic. So again, a large part of it is Success Academy and that foundation. But also, it's always having a high bar. So it's from day one, letting them know, like every mini quiz, every homework, every little do now, you need to do your absolute best. And when you do your absolute best, you will see the results.
And you went to Vassar, and obviously you worked hard and got good grades. You know, but when you listen to some of these folks who are against these schools and who say, you know, that it drains the public school system, we just heard from some people in the intro who were saying that. What do you say about that?
All I know is that in a community where there are such low expectations, there's a bright spot. These kids are benefiting from this opportunity, and because of our school, I know that they're going to go on to have as many doors open for them as possible. So I just don't know how you can be against our kids, our families, when it's so positive. These kids believe in themselves, and they can go out into the world and say that they're great at math. How many kids can say that?
I know I can't, but I'm glad they can. Just, you know, one last question for you with regard to the rest of the city. There are caps on how many charter schools can be in New York City. Do you think that's a good thing, or would you like to see more of these schools open?
I know that there are families that want more schools. So if there are families that want this, then I think that we should respect their wishes and we should increase the cap. If people didn't want this,